Joining in, dear viewers. A very good evening. We are so glad to have you on the show with us tonight. And my name is Apollo Sabiiti. So privileged to be our host tonight. Now, this is Ask the CEO. For those of us who are probably joining us for the first time, this beautiful show comes to your living rooms, the comfort of your living rooms, every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. But also for the family that follows while they are on the go, we're also very happy to have you streaming live. This show is powered by Young and Flourishing. We love to be here. Now they say Thursday is for throwbacks. Now allow me take you down this little memory lane. It is the beginning of December and the year is 2021 and I'm going about my business. And then while I'm packing up, trying to leave my workplace, I fall on some material, some content, an interview that was done by one Francis Otuchu. Very mind-blowing, intriguing, so inviting that I could not leave my desk before reading the content of the story. I had no idea, dear friends, that a year and a few days later, I would be seated in the presence of the lady who was being interviewed by Francis Otuchu. We're so glad to have you on the show. And as always, of course, we like to begin by giving our dear guests a moment to introduce themselves. And then before we hit the ground running, her name is Jacklene Arinda. Her profile is so huge that I don't know whether I'll be able to flip through the whole of it. Would like to give you a moment to say hello to our dear viewers before we fold our sleeves and get some work done in here. Very glad to have you on the show, by the way.
Thank you so much, Apollo. And to the viewers of Family TV, thank you for even keeping online and on TV to watch this show. It's 9. And I can imagine people have just reached home. Maybe they're having their cup of coffee. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be chosen by Family TV to come here and share my story. Not so often are we called to speak about ourselves. We are used to people speaking about us. But for Family TV, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure sharing in your space tonight. And the goal is to enrich lives. We come in here every Thursday, and I hope our inspiration is that from the many things that these people throw out there in terms of their content, their life stories, we hope that you're able to pick something and then run away with it. Something that could be life-changing, whether it is from the career end or to the folks that do what we now famously call kuiliba in the city. We like to catch these stories when they are tender. Now, before we actually unfold the whole story, for some of the people who are probably have not watched you on the streets, probably they are not conversant with your exploits on the Ugandan market, we would like to give you a moment to introduce yourself. Where does this beautiful story of yours begin?
Well, like you just mentioned, my name is Jacklene Arinda.
Yeah.
Born and raised from Western Uganda, and I come from Ibanda district. For those ones that know Ibanda, it is from the western part of the country. And I studied from Western Uganda. I came to Kampala for A-level. And actually, when I'm telling you my story, I think it's best I also tell you that I'm the Chief Executive Officer of JADA Coffee, so that you know
Absolutely.
who is this young lady. I know most ladies tend to twist to the age, but it's true, I'm still young. As you can see, my skin, I'm still young.
Yeah,
so I'm
absolutely.
a young lady. Yeah, and I'm in coffee business, which is called JADA Coffee. So when you ask me that, introduce yourself and tell us, the story, the fact remains that, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 20 it's hard to tell you my entire story, and I must say that to compact all the years of my life
Would be very hard.
into just 1 hour.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that I'm going to just speak what I think that is the best thing for you to know, and maybe it could empower you, maybe it could inspire you, or maybe it's something that you need to listen to. However, it's my story. You have your story. And we can share through online platforms, I guess. Those ones that are online, anywhere you're from. I think Apollo will guide you on how you can interact with us in case
sure.
you're interested in a particular kind of life experience and you would like me to elaborate more. So, my primarily, I went to Mbara Mixed. So you can say I didn't go to the best
Yeah,
schools. So someone must be asking, which one is that? It is not government, but it was a good school. And then later, secondary, I went to Chubura Girls and Alliance Secondary School and Crane High School. And then Bishop Stewart University. I was a kind of a stubborn student. That's what I remember. A tough one. A tough one, but
Okay.
very brilliant. And my teachers out there can testify. I was a bit stubborn. I liked making friends. And growing up, I never took anything serious apart from exams and my books. So I always played. I was into soccer, you can imagine, with the boys, because at home there are many boys.
Yeah.
So I didn't have much of the girls to play with. So, and then I joined secondary. Secondary is a bit tougher. For some of us,
Yeah.
we never used to revise.
It's quite demanding.
Yeah, quite demanding. In fact, in senior two, that is when I realized that, wait, hold on a bit. I think you need to revise.
Yeah.
Because primarily, I never used to revise. I think revision was for homework. You'd just go looking for a particular kind of content so that you can answer a particular question. So
Yeah.
it wasn't more like a revision. But in secondary, it became a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
If I recall very well, I think we had about 17
17,
subjects.
yeah. And from the 17.
Yeah, and you had to
you
get
know-
58.
Yeah.
That
average.
was the average. And you would be almost the last, and there would be a warning, and they're like, you know what, if you don't improve, you might leave. You can imagine 17 subjects,
Yeah.
and that's quite a lot,
It's quite a burden. So you shift from primary 7, you're doing only 4.
4.
And then you shift to 17. Takes a lot of mental bandwidth.
I'm telling you, and to a stubborn student, I was very stubborn. I would not even respond to the bell. Like it rings, and I'm like, no, we need an extra time.
Yeah.
We need an extra time to play. So 17 subjects, Kiswahili was my worst, and now I'm starting to learn Kiswahili. You can imagine. I wish I learned that. But then we had French. I dropped it,
Yeah.
but I'm learning French as well. By the
Again.
way, I speak French. You parlez français?
I don't want to lie to you, but I speak a little Kiswahili kidogo kidogo.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I don't speak. So basically, when it clocked, and the reason I'm bringing you that part of my
Story.
education is because I know there is a young person watching.
Absolutely.
And or parents or decision makers, the policy makers, and the ones that do our syllabus, stakeholders,
Yeah.
all that. No one guided us on what kind of subjects. First, we were studying to pass. I mean, it was just like go to school, wake up in the morning, have your uniform on, and polish your shoes,
Yeah.
have breakfast, enter school. So no one guided me to tell me that, you know what, Jackie, if you want to be a lawyer, you need to do A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
You need to have more time on this. And there is no career guidance at all from primary. In fact, I think it's like a month before PLOE that they bring people to speak to you on what you want to be, but it is not even serious.
That's pretty much like fattening a bull on market day.
Yeah, but it's not much. I mean, we attend to just attend. It's like, you
yeah.
know. So I wanted to be a lawyer, actually. But I think I somewhere in between there, I just wanted to pass and finish school.
Yeah.
So senior two, we have to drop off some subjects. Of course, I wasn't a scientist, not at all. I don't look like a scientist at all. Scientists are very serious people. So I select those ones I could, home economics, and I went to my O level, finished, and now A level. So A level, it is much determined by the subjects you have passed for you to choose the kind of course, you know that.
Yeah.
So still, it's not your decision to make. It's based on what you have passed, that's what it is. So I do economics, and I did economics, and I did history, and I did divinity, and art.
Had
And
art,
yeah, because
like
I
we used to
was
say.
good at it,
Yeah.
Not art, I just did it because I wanted more points, and people were saying that more points there, and I'm good
Yeah.
at learning, so
Yeah.
I pass. Now, when I pass, now that is where my journey starts from. And you can call it spiritual, or you can say it's luck. Some people call it fate. But that is where my career started from. Now, I wanted to be a lawyer, and I asked my guardians that if I pass, will you take me to the university I want? They said, sure. So I get my points, and at that point we were many. I remember we were about 4 people at the university.
School?
At the university, yeah.
Okay.
So they tell me, no, we can't afford school fees to have 4 of you at the university.
Yeah.
And I'm not lying. I didn't know Bishop Stewart University. I didn't. I by that time I
Growing
just
up,
knew
yeah,
it that
yeah.
my.
So you're 4, and
Yeah.
they're telling you, no, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
possible.
impossible.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
We're really sorry.
Yeah, and I remember my uncle was very young.
Yeah.
If I remember very well, he must have been like 34 or 30 something, and paying for all of us, you can imagine.
Yeah.
So I understood where he was coming from.
from.
Yeah, but what I didn't understand, the mind plays tricks on you, and I'm like, really?
There
why
had been
me?
a promise, yeah.
Yeah, why me? And then I have this whole sheet that includes all courses. I'm like,
You have to
page
choose
1,
again,
page 2,
yeah,
page 3,
yeah.
but I can't find something. So I land on social work. I'm like, I think I can do social work. What is social work? What does it take to do social work? They're like, okay, you can do that. Now you can see, I was like, let me just do that.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Just trying to go through the day.
Yeah, and they were like, you want social work? I said, yeah.
You can have it.
You can have it. But you see, even at that level, there is no career guidance
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
There's no one telling you that you're playing around with your future.
As a matter of fact, one of the pillars that Young and Flourishing, the organization that powers this show, one of the pillars that they uphold is career guidance.
Yeah.
This mentoring, actually.
It's important. It's very important.
I ca-
And I go to the university now.
Yeah.
And I was totally a different kind of student here.
Yeah.
I had, me and my sisters, we had our nails painted, we had our hair done, my lipstick, my makeup.
So you
heels.
actually later joined them at the university?
Yeah, I
Did you get in
joined
the
them
same
at
university?
Bishop Stewart University,
Okay.
and it's a church kind of university.
Yeah.
So I reached there and I'm like, wow. I'm like, am I going to be here? These people are totally different. I see people coming with sandals. I see people, I'm like,
Yeah.
do I sit in here really? You know that pride that you have?
Yeah.
Everyone knows how you feel. You want your swag on, you
Yeah,
come, and then
yeah.
you're like,
But it's a whole different environment.
totally
Shock.
different. It's a shock. But my sisters were very good to me, and we were
Yeah.
good, and we were
Helped you to
blending
settle
in
in.
and everything.
Yeah.
So I go to Bishop Stewart University, and I'm leaving. Now at that point, now it starts hitting hard because you need to read, and then there is independence. It's the first time you're out of your father's house and you're far away from them. So you have too much freedom here.
To deal with, yeah.
And then you have a serious cost here because it determines, the university will determine whether you're someone or you're nobody.
Yeah.
In Uganda, if
That
you
education
finish here,
system, yeah.
It's at that level.
It's a 0 or a 1.
You get the point?
Yeah.
But also, that's the level where every young person gets freedom.
Yeah.
And it's at your disposal. Like, you have to choose even the meal, whether you want to have a meal today, whether you want to sweep your house today, whether you want to stay in bed up to 10, it's a lot,
Yeah.
So now you have to process all that and now get ready to define who you are. And I think that is where all of us get lost from. Because your parents are out there making phone calls. Are you in class? And you what? You're like, I'm studying and
You're
I'm
like,
doing
yeah,
everything because they're
okay.
away from you. And then there is you who is taking this as a joke.
As a joke, as a by the way.
Yeah, and then there are friends, and then there is peer pressure, coming in. You have to look like that. And then for the girls, then you are exposed, and men out there, and then looking at university girls. I mean, it's a lot. And at that level, if you do not have good company, I can tell you can fall into I think an ocean you will never cross.
Absolutely. For sadly, for some, it's been life-changing, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
That dealing with this freedom sometimes can be very hard. And like you said, if not well managed, it's been life-changing.
You can drown.
But for the worst, yeah.
You can drown. So good enough, I thank my parents and my grandmother specifically, because they had brought me in a way that I felt they had eyes all over,
Yeah.
Like I was like,
the
I can't do
that.
Yeah.
Still small voice.
Oh God, I'm
saying,
like, I can't
hey, Jackie,
do that.
Hey Jackie, hey Jackie.
Watch out. So I actually blend in and start studying and making new friends. And in year 2, I remember I was contacted and someone said, we are looking for Miss Tourism Uganda and we think you're the best candidate. I'm like, no, you guys want to embarrass me. You want me to get on stage and then I lose. So I'm not coming for the battle where I know I'm going to lose. They're like, you come on board. That was in my second year, yeah. So, but because I have always wanted that kind of life, I wanted to be a beauty queen, I wanted to be on TV, I wanted to be on radio.
Yeah.
Basically, that excitement of being a celeb.
There must have been a harsh deep within telling you, hey, just give it a try.
Yeah, no,
Why not?
try. They're like, that's an opportunity. No, you don't put down that opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I'm going to, because beauty pageants, we look at them like, oh my God, they're like celebrities for us.
They're right up there.
Up there, I mean, it's a queen thing. So I joined, and we were about, I think, 21 or 22 candidates. But actually, starting we were many. The ones that registered were very many, maybe about 100 or something. But it's zeroed down to 21, the ones that went into boot camp. And then we ended in 2013. During the boot camp, we were 13. So it means if I had not gone to Bishop Stewart University, this opportunity wouldn't have been there for me to contest as Miss Tourism Ankole, to represent the region.
So now the pieces now begin to fall in.
Yeah, you see the puzzle, the pieces are scattered.
Yeah.
But now I join in, but I didn't want to tell my parents or to my family to let them know that I'm joining it, because parents don't believe in talent. In fact, they believe it's a distraction.
Yeah.
So they are not going to support you until you win. When you win, they're like, oh yeah, that's our girl.
That's my girl.
But when you're in there, like, we are not even sure what you're doing in there. But I guess you're going to fail your exams.
And interestingly, that's the same thing with sport. We're talking soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did soccer. So soccer, we're talking volleyball. My brother went and did handball. We didn't even know what that was. So I can imagine if word went back home and they're like, oh, Jackie, as we speak right now, is in Barara,
Yeah, and soccer is a bit polished because no one attaches it to some bad kind of picture. Yeah. Now, for beauty pageant, it is associated with so many bad things. Like they think, oh God, is it prostitution? Is it what? Like there is a lot they attach it with, which is not actually.
Yeah.
So I join in and it was tough. Oh God, if I was to do it again, I wouldn't. It was tough, waking up at 4 a.m. and that's when I learned how to have a healthy competition. Living, because you live with your competitors and you have to adjust their crowns. Yeah. You have to do their makeup, they have to do yours. It's not compulsory, but you're living with someone you're competing with. You're 13 people competing for one crown.
Yeah.
Now you learn how to live with them happily. To protect them, to share with them your notes, and you're like, yeah, we are in all this together because you need emotional support. So I enter in and I'm excited, but I'm a little bit shaken. And I'm like, oh, wait a bit, will I make it? And these are beautiful girls. I mean, it's the land of milk and honey, very beautiful and very, bright, and they had everything. But deep within me, and to you who is watching and you're young,
say that loud.
it's scary, but you have to do it. It's scary to compete. It's scary to do some other things, but you have to do it. You have to step out there because there is only one way to know. It will shape you. It will make you. It might break you, but you will get back. So I enter in, and guess what? I become a queen. I was Miss Tourism Ankole 2014 and 15, and that was the beginning of my journey. Now, if I had said no, that I'm not going to school because my parents were taking me to a university that is not on the map.
That wasn't your choice,
Yeah, because
not known.
Ugandans think Makerere University or the other universities are the only universities. So if I had not taken up that opportunity, but I finished school and I became a Miss Tourism Ankole, and I came for Miss Tourism Uganda, I didn't make it. I mean, you're competing with 9 regions. Those are like 33 queens. We came to Kampala and I didn't make it. And I remember telling my second runner, she was called Lillian, that this is not our battle. I withdrew, and I'm sorry, Uncle. I withdrew. At that point, I knew I was not going anywhere. I said, you know what? After like 2 weeks of boot camp, I told the trainer, that crown is not mine. And he said, yo, Jackie, you have to. I said, no, you know what? I think motivational speakers will tell you you can do it, you can do it. But at this point, I am telling you, that's not my crown. And this is the point where I gave up. And they said, you're going to go home. I'm like, I'm ready, actually. Can I go tomorrow? And they said, no. So even in life, there is a point you need to reach and say, let me step back. This is me. This is not my call. So I withdraw. And I go back, but that was the beginning. Every media house was on me, everything. I became a celeb. Now, what do you do with the limelight?
I was about to get to that, and allow me just break the code a little bit. You're very welcome, dear viewers. For those of you who probably missed the intro, we're so glad to have you on the beautiful show. Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m. is such a nice place to be here at Church of Uganda Family TV. And tonight with me, I'm so privileged, very humbled to have an amazing lady. Her name is Jacklene Arinda. Now, interestingly, for those of you who have probably seen her on these streets, many people call her Madame CEO. And we've been talking about her entrepreneur journey, how to excel as an entrepreneur. We've said this on the show many times, that Uganda is so blessed. We have people who think so much. We have businesses birthed every single day. They say, statistics say, we are one of the highest ranking countries in terms of businesses that are born. But sadly, only a few of these that are born every single year get to make and celebrate their first anniversaries or first birth dates. We have an amazing lady. She is a CEO at JADA Coffee. She's been at it for a while, been in media. She's what I'm doing right now, by the way, just to put this into context, was once her bread and butter. And now she gets to the story I talked about, when she leaves a big job, what we'll call a big job here in the capital, and then she goes to concentrate on her brand, JADA Coffee. It is that brings us here. And like I said earlier, our hope and inspiration is that a thing or two that she says tonight, that includes the other guests we've had on the show before, that definitely includes the other guests we'll have even next week and even next year. Our hope and faith and inspiration is that something that they say here on the show will resonate with what you feel deep inside your heart and could easily trigger the next chapter of your life. So tell us, there's that point you get to and you're like, hello,
That's
this is not me.
Yeah. So I went back to my region, which was Ankole.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to shine in my region.
Yeah. Be a star
I
there.
might not have taken the crown of Miss Tourism Uganda, but the crown that I have, the little that I have, I'm going to make it shine.
Wow, lovely.
And those ones that go to church, you must have heard that song that where they tell us that that little candle that you have to make it shine. So when I go back now, media is on me, limelight. I'm like, what do I have to do with this limelight?
Yeah.
Where do I take this? And to whoever is watching, that small candle that you have, it's what you have to use to get to another step.
Yeah.
Do not give up and say this small job that I have. That small job will lead you to something else. And it's the same with the business. We want to start big, but we undermine small beginnings.
Yeah.
And small
little
beginnings
steps.
sharpen you. They polish you. They make you ready for bigger sources of revenue.
So,
So-
tell us, sorry to interject in
Yeah.
here, does this now land you your first job?
Yeah,
The
it
limelight?
did. Yeah, it did. I remember I was called, actually, maybe I might take your job, because I was invited on a radio for an interview.
Okay.
And when I was invited, they said, oh, you have a deeper voice. You have a deep voice. We like your flow. Do you mind if you can host this show? And I said, oh, how much? Let's talk how much. And my boss said, I like you. I say, why? Say, you didn't even wait for me to say. You said, how much? I said,
You're ready
yeah.
to, yeah.
Because you have already said what you want.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you what I want. So I get my first job. But I got that job because I was very popular. I ran so many activities during my reign. So I get the first job. But you can imagine, I had the crown on my head.
Yeah.
I had the job. And I was in my second year.
Whoa.
Yeah. So those are three things that I'm working on, multitasking.
Yeah.
And my parents and family, they expect me to excel at school. But at the same point, Miss Tourism Uganda expects you to perform. You have to attend the events. You have to do their projects. And then I have a job here. And I need this money. So I was doing all that work. And most people usually say, I don't have time. But I believe we have time.
Oh,
we just need time to rest or gossip. That's when we say, oh, we don't have time. But what do you need time for? Have you ever sat there and asked yourself that, oh, you know what, I need time. What do you need time for? Is it for resting? If you're a family person, is it for spending with your family?
The quality time.
What kind of time?
Yeah.
When you say I'm busy, what exactly are you doing within 24 hours?
Someone said that there are people who are actually always busy, but busy doing nothing.
I'm telling you, the marginal output is zero, and then you make yourself busy. So at that point, when I got that job, I did well, and guess what? It took me to my other job, which was TV, and I got a job on TV, and when I got a job on TV, I was excited, you guys. I was excited. And I was like, oh my God, that is so me on TV.
This is it, yeah.
And then people call in, you know, when people call in, because on radio, that's your voice. People, you will even walk in the markets and no one knows you.
Yeah.
Like they know your brand name, but they don't know
They can't attach the voice to the face and say, oh, she's over there.
But TV, I mean, you walk out in the markets, you walk out in the supermarkets, you walk out on the streets, and everyone is like, and that excitement comes in.
Yeah.
And that's when you start thinking you're bigger than anyone. And then you have to deal with that.
I love how you throw in these weaknesses and hit them head on.
Yeah, because it's the reality.
From the pride you talked about earlier, and then right now, dealing someone fresh from the university, or probably still at the university, dealing with a lot of attention.
You have attention.
Yeah.
You have money. You understand what it means to have money, to have limelight, to command.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm giving you all this is that younger people, we need to know who we are. You might have huge following on social media.
Yeah.
On Instagram, you're a content creator. You're good. You might feel big. And you undermine the fact that, wait, you might be big on those platforms, but your personality matters, how
Yeah.
you relate with people.
Yeah.
Because how do you make money out of the content? So I get more jobs. I remember I was a manager, Barra Tourism Information Center,
Yeah.
Embassy Hotel and everything. So I just wanted to learn. That's what I wanted, because my whole career and what even brought me to JADA Coffee is because I was good at speaking, I was good at making friends, important friends. My circles are very rich, by the way.
Yeah.
I make very rich friends.
Yeah.
That includes Apollo here.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because people are rich. If people are rich, they don't have to be rich only with money.
Yeah.
People who will call you and be there for you. Like if you are like
Yeah.
Jackie,
Yeah.
and Apollo has been in this kind of field for a long time, then you need to make Apollo your friend so that Apollo tells you how to walk around those streets. So I was into management and everything. But why? Because I knew how to play around with my limelight.
All right. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here, Jackie. And allow us to take a very short commercial break. And when we return, we'll be getting to know how much or what that net worth that she's talking about has been able to propel her to what now is the biggest chapter in her life. I always say it's always a pleasure, it's always a privilege knowing that you are listening in, you're watching us from the other side. Now, in case you just joined in while we're taking a break, I have the privilege of sharing in Jacklene Arinda's space tonight here with me in studio, and we're talking about her entrepreneur journey. She is the CEO of JADA Coffee. She is the CEO Labour College of East Africa, and many other things. Her profile is this huge. Now, we're so glad to have you on the show. Before we went for the break, you're talking about what I would now summarize into a quote, that your network is your net worth.
Yeah, true that. And how you treat people, how you behave,
Yeah.
showing them that you're capable. So all that prepared me for what I am and what I am becoming. And every single day there is a lesson to learn. But in between there, I just wanted more. I felt now I was ready to have more, you know.
There's always that thirst.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you get somewhere, you're
Yeah.
like, I think I'm done here.
Yeah.
I'm done here.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because you cannot be in one place
Yeah.
all your life. But it's up to you. I mean, there are people who are contented. So I get a job at one of the TV stations, and I come in. So along that time, I said, but I have a talent at marketing, selling anything.
Yeah.
Why can't I sell mine? Why? Why can't I have my own? Because, you know, employment has a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I understand, but even entrepreneurship has the same.
Yeah.
But it's a call, I guess. There are people who are meant to serve. There are people who are masters.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I think I was born a master. Like, I'm not so good at serving. I will serve 40%, but most of the 60% of me wants to be a master.
Yeah.
So I say, no, I have the social capital, but let me drive this social capital to my own brand.
Yeah. What else can I bring to this market?
Yeah. And I say, what do I start with? But I had studied a lot about coffee and understood how the industry works. And I said, I need gold, but I won't do gold. So coffee is the gold here.
Yeah.
I think I can market that. But the beginning was a little bit, you know, the beginning of a company. To me, it was exciting. I set up my company, register it. Excited, you know, when you
it's always good when you've just started a company,
okay.
newborn
You feel
baby.
big.
When you go for a retreat, or you have friends around, and you're saying, hey guys, look here, I have a new company.
Oh
I
God,
am
now
CEO.
that part doesn't work. In Uganda, when you say you have your own company, they
Yeah.
think you're poor. I'm telling you. Your circles even say, oyo ajja kulemwa era ajja kukomawo bijagana. You know, your circles even think, your friends, they're like, but are you sure, Jackie, are you going to sustain this? Will it pay your rent? Will it pay everything? And what you're risking a lot.
Isn't it
You're
supposed to
risking
be?
your savings.
Isn't it supposed to be the other way around?
Well, I guess it's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah.
But in Africa, we were not told to start companies. We were told to serve, from our grandfathers working on other people's shambas, and then to our
Farms.
parents and
Yeah.
our mothers going to, to maybe assist in harvesting. Those kind of things have not prepared us to have our own company. In fact, even those ones who have their farms, it's more of subsistence. I mean, they produce to eat.
Yeah.
It's not like...
It's not majorly commercial.
Yeah, it's
going
not commercial.
All out. Yeah.
So it's average.
Yeah.
So when you start your own company, not until it owns the building,
Yeah.
they won't recognize you. Not until they see the brand around.
Yeah.
That's when they start saying, I think he's doing well. But when you register it and you tell them I'm starting,
Oh, yeah, wait there.
don't expect that support. And if you have it, then you're lucky. Me, I didn't have it. I only have my friend who is called Arinda. And then she told me, I think you're ready. And then another Honorable John Taylor told me also, Jackie, go for it. We'll support you.
This is it.
Go for it. But it's scary. So I registered my company online and I start pushing. And I said, no, I'm not going to have an office.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep with this coffee in my house. So I go to the roaster, I roast the coffee, I pack it, I bring it back home. My place was smelling coffee. Oh God. I said, this is how people begin. I also wanted a luxurious office, I wanted all that. I wanted to start.
Sit around,
pay rent,
roll in that chair,
roll in the chair,
make some phone calls.
and then files coming in, and then that and that and that.
But it's not what it is at the start.
It's costly.
Yeah.
So I started with actually 8 million. You can imagine. 8 million. And I could have started with maybe 40. But when I looked into it, I said, but why do I burn my money
Yeah.
right now when I'm not sure?
Start
Let me
small.
first, yes, because the merchandise, the way it goes, it will determine whether you can expand or not.
Yeah.
And I sold all the coffee within 2 months. Now that's what I'm talking about social capital.
Yeah.
If your friends and circles cannot buy from you, then you need to ask yourself whether you're doing the right thing, or you have the same circles, or you're the bad one. Because you might complain that my friends are not supporting me, but the question is, are you supporting them?
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to support people, and people will tell you, give without expecting. I'm telling you, people give expecting. It's just they're polite enough not to tell you.
Yeah.
But you cannot go to my neighbor's shop every day when I have the same things and you're not coming to me. But when you have a wedding, you bring your pledge card to me. When you have what, you come to me. How come you never go to USA to support those brands? Have they ever come to your burial? No. So if you have friends that are not supporting you, before you say, my friends are not supporting me, ask yourself, are you supporting them? Because I'm there for my friends, actually. I'm always there for my friends, and it doesn't have to be money.
Yeah.
Whether they lose someone, I will drive.
Yeah.
And I be there for the vigil. If they have a birthday party, I'm there. If I have some money, I'll support.
Yeah.
Even when and I'm tough in a way that Apple, I will tell you that, Apple, I don't think you were a good person to so and so, because the way you treat them is not good. I'll tell you what it is, and I'll tell you, you know what, people are saying A, B, C, D, and I'm not saying people are saying that, but I'm part of those people. I have experienced that, and you need to change. So people bought in my product, it moved, and it excited me, and I was like, I've made money. Profits, counting your money, and you're like, this is my money, this is my money. So I'm like, no, where do I
But then
go?
after getting this money, you have to get back to the drawing board. Think, how do I now scale up? I would like us to catch that journey. How is it
Now,
going?
That journey,
Yeah.
before I get that, why did I start an online business? And I'm telling you, to the young people outside there, you need to listen to this. Online business in Uganda is the best opportunity to begin with. Why? Because it's rent-free. You're going to stay with your merchandise. And this one, you don't even have to pay rent. That is rule number 1. You don't have to pay many workers. You're practically having your phone, which you have I've seen young people with expensive gadgets. I mean, 8 million.
Yeah.
And I'm like, You have that 8 million. Make use of it with a huge following. So you're not paying rent. That is one. You are not paying many workers, because when you start as a CEO, most people say a CEO will have like 40 people or 15 people. No.
Yeah.
When you're starting, when I was starting, we were about, I think, 5 or 8 people. I was the head of marketing. I even did online for my company for about 6 months before I hired someone else. I was managing my accounts. I was the delivery person, you can imagine, for some. And I also helped in operations, even getting coffee, going to the farms and everything. That was me. So as a CEO, when you're starting, I need to tell you that you're not going to swell or feel like, I'm the boss, I need to hire someone to do A, B, C, D. No, you have to do it. You must hire if you must. Not because, I have money, extra money. No. In fact, if you want, you can pay yourself. Say, I'm the COO, then you pay yourself for the COO. I'm the chief, pay for yourself, but don't rush to hire. So now, at that point, I had my 5 people, and guess what? I sat down and I said, how am I going to deliver this coffee? It's strictly online. But I had registered it. I went to URSB, and it's a lie if anyone has told you that it's complicated to register your company at URSB. Within 1 week or even a day, if you have all your paperwork, you can have it. The bank, the same. The reason I needed a bank was because I think at that stage I was not ready to keep the money on my account. So the discipline in there, all I needed was a bank account, to have a separate bank account.
Oh, for the business?
For the business.
Oh, right.
And that's the mistake we make, where we mix those two and they say, let me wait for the company to grow and I open an account. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But also it makes your clients believe in you. When they wire the money to your bank account, they're like, oh, you're serious. But when you tell them, oh, make a payment, and then it is Apollo. Yes, Sabiiti Apollo. Oh, so this man just eats the money.
Just the
clients don't want
masquerading.
to know you're eating their money, by the way.
Yeah.
No, some clients are like, no, we don't want you to eat our money. This is our business. So when you start online, there's so many things that you run away. So when I started, now here are the biggest challenges that hit very hard.
Yeah.
People will tell you there is market for coffee. Oh God, enter the industry, you will say, where is the market? You will even look for it. You're like, but they say there is money in coffee.
Yeah.
Or they might tell you there is money in, I don't know, charcoal. Or they will tell you,
yeah,
whatever it is. But when you enter the industry,
is when you actually get to know the dynamics around
you're
that
like,
particular
oh,
market.
wait a bit. Who wants coffee? That's when you start hearing someone saying, oh, coffee gives me a headache. Oh, I can't take coffee. Oh, this or this or this or that. So now I enter the industry and I'm like, I'm already here. It's like when you're in the ocean. You have to swim to the dry land. Or you will drown. So there is only one way, and you must enter into business when you know that come rain, come sunshine, I'm not quitting. But if you enter any business when you want to quit, I can tell you will quit. So that's why sometimes businesses collapse, because you have high expectations and you think every business must succeed, must not face challenges. I can tell you that we all want big contracts to begin with. I received big contracts, but I couldn't,
meet their demand.
No. Someone is asking you to supply them coffee worth 50 million per month. So where am I going to get that money to put? Yeah, the capital. Because this client might even take 6 months without paying you, but you're supplying them 50 million per month.
Wow.
So you need to know who is your target market. And everyone wants to grow big. All of a sudden, you want that 50 million contract, but you can't sustain it. It will make you collapse. So you have to start small, but also target the small clients that can sustain your business. Do not rush to make big money. Big money can make you sweat. And you can run mad. That is the number 1 challenge. The number 2 challenge is when you start, human resource is quite a challenging thing. Everyone thinks can hire or can run interviews, and I've come to believe that I can't. Because somehow you feel the CV will come, excuse me.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So
somehow we believe that we can hire.
yeah, we believe that we can actually handle the human resource, the dynamics around it, every nitty-gritty around having all those people around at the station, whether it's a workplace or a stall somewhere. Not all of us actually can do that.
Not all of us. And it's challenging that everyone wants a job Apollo. They don't care what it is.
Yeah.
And even when they are coming to the job, they're not after making the company grow.
Yeah.
Throughout,
Sadly.
yes, it's sad. And throughout my journey of employing, the challenge has been with the young people. Young people come into the company, they're excited to work for it. But guess what? They won't understand that this is a startup. When they are desperate, they'll say, yeah, I can work for 400, I can work for 700. Shortly after, 3 months, they're not doing anything. They report late, you ask them, why are you reporting late, why are you doing what? There's something else.
Or even when they try to meet the time demands, reporting time and leaving, the productivity is probably low, or they are trying other dubious means to see where they can profit, like the famous phrase around town, mfunira muwa.
Mfunira muwa. And when you're young, they also can't respect you. They think, oh, Jack is young, he's 27 or 28, now we can play around.
Yeah.
And before you know it, this young person is adding nothing to that company.
Yeah.
And
just draining.
Yes, draining you. But guess what? They want their full salary.
Yeah.
And they don't want delays.
We have a batch of an entitled generation.
Yes, some. And like I said, some. But I can tell you that the biggest percentage, they don't want to work. They're even not sure what they want. They want to party, they want to do everything, they want to live a luxurious life. Yeah. And they have also, because bigger companies have painted this whole picture that when you're working with a company, you get all the benefits.
Yeah.
Of moving around, or maybe they're seeing the other big company has a big vehicle, they give them big vehicles, maybe they were flying, then they start asking for those things. They forget you're small. But when they are coming, they are desperate. When they enter, it is challenging. So even human resource is a big challenge here. Then you train them on job, they disappear. And people will tell you, when you train them and you keep them and you do what, they will keep there. I can tell you will train and train and train and train. And you will lose and lose and lose. But here is the point. Do your job.
Yeah.
Train them, groom them, make a better environment for them. Because even the young people, they are desperate because no one has guided them. Yeah. Like I told you, my education background, no one prepared us for what we are supposed to be. You want to be a doctor, but no one has told you the dynamics, the pressure that comes with it. Yeah. You want to be a lawyer. No one has told you that by the time you're 28, maybe you will have married and then you have another family to take care of. Like, it's crisis after crisis. Yeah. So even them, they come with expectations and demands based on the life they are living, because the landlord pressure is on them, the pressure to have a good car, the pressure to have a home, and all that time they want it from this company. But they forget this company also has a dream. It has a plan. It wants its own house. It wants its own vehicle. So you have to come on a mutual ground. Yeah. But they're also not ready for that. So it's a bit challenging in human resource. And number two, I think this goes to the government, because the policies, some of the policies, you don't even understand them. You're like, we are not consulted. Who are the stakeholders?
I know. Recently, I don't know if this is what you're trying to talk about. Recently, we've been having hash going around, especially with the stakeholders in the coffee business, the policies, and
it's a bit challenging. I must say that sometimes I'm not sure whether Uganda, as a country, is in support of domestic investors or foreign investors, because when you compare the two, I mean, it's just thanks to presidential CEO forum
Yeah.
that has bridged the gap that even us, the private sector,
you're
can
able to
meet
meet.
the president.
Yeah.
But before that, the president was only meeting any foreigner that comes in, whether they have money or bankrupt or anything. You will say, oh, the president has met the president, oh, billion. And they do. I've not seen them, by the way. I've not seen those projects. In fact, I want to sit down and task Uganda Investment Authority to tell us all those investors we see every single day that are meeting the president. And then they come here and tell us. I can assure you that, and this actually, let me even adjust my microphone because I need you to know this. You can even quote me.
Yeah.
Most of these investors go to their companies. They are hiring semi-skilled kind of labor.
Yeah.
And even the payment, the payment, they are hiring people who have not gone to school. Yeah. So who is creating job opportunities for the graduate? No one. Yeah. It's us. It's us that are hiring you. Yeah. It's the family TV that is hiring those people that have graduated. But the most factories, the senior management team, you find those are relatives only. If it's a Chinese company, they are three, all relatives, family, and and the rest are to pack boxes and everything, and then they will tell you they are creating job opportunities for who? Is Apollo going to earn 200,000 a month? That's a no. So as much as we want to praise this government, yes, I'm wearing, but it has its also weaknesses. They need to create job opportunities for our people, and our people need to be protected. And the only way you can protect our people is
by having good policies in place
and supporting the local investors, because the local investors somehow they feel they cannot mistreat Apollo because Apollo will come after them. But foreign investors, if they have met the president and then they have the ministers and what, they will think that they can do anything to them, because Apple as a young person cannot afford a lawyer. So even when things go wrong in that company, cannot afford a lawyer to go to court and
against what we now call the big boys.
So we need to be supported by the government, and that brings in access to finance. I think there is a lot of paperwork.
I think there was there's one of those episodes, presidential CEO forum about 2 weeks ago. It was a lovely one. I was very privileged to catch that one, and I remember that the quest from the Ugandan investors who were there on the day is that the request was simple, that of all the 365 days in the year, that the president would get at least a day in every region to listen to these Ugandan investors who are out there causing change and changing lives, and there's not much repatriation. All the money that they make stays here in the Pearl of Africa.
It stays here, and I can assure you that they are hiring your children and they are improving the kind of life that you would want every Ugandan to have. And unless the government protects us, and unless the government thinks that we are the priority, let it be the Coffee Act, where it was a controversial one, where they were saying, oh, she's adding value addition. Even as JADA Coffee is. It's just that I cannot afford that heavy, big investment. But even when you look at her contract, 30,000 tons, it's not even a quarter of what Uganda exports in terms of green coffee. So if she comes in here, we shall see. If she's good enough, why do you have to protect her? Let her compete with Jackie. But if she's scared and needs law to protect her from Jackie, then she's not good for global market. Why is a foreign investor scared of a small company like JADA that has to be protected by a policy for her to be able
to thrive?
Then if you fear JADA Coffee, then that means you're not going to excel anywhere to the global market. You don't need a law. You come here, let's swim. Whoever makes it to the dry land will make it.
That is okay.
But when you say, I'm going to give one the jacket, life jacket, and I'm going to give to have Jackie compete, swim.
Then the ground is not leveled.
It is not.
It is some tough love, some big words coming in here from CEO of JADA Coffee. Her name is Jacklene Arinda. We're so privileged to have her on the show. Now we've had a bit of the bumps on the ride. When all is said and done, Jackie, when the sun sets and you're going to sleep to have a night's rest, there must be that one thing that pushes you to say, I have got to be up tomorrow when the sun comes out. What gains have there been? I mean, the challenges are there and they come in doubles. But what reward is there? What gains have been there that give you hope for a better tomorrow? That pushes you, spurs you to be able to get up the next day, polish your shoes, get your smile on, and then go and sell JADA to the world.
I guess one, it's the local farmers for me.
Yeah.
Because the farmers out there have done a tremendous job. You
Lovely.
people have no idea what they do because it starts with them. So I feel if I don't do much, I will have disappointed them.
Yeah.
They look forward to me buying their coffee every single day.
Yeah.
So I cannot go back and tell them JADA Coffee has closed. I don't know if any of you knows what it means, the burden to give out bad news. It's really, if I told you that, you know what, God forbid that I have lost someone, go and tell my partner about the news. You people see doctors coming to you and telling you, we've done our best. It's the hardest thing. And it's the hardest for me.
Tough news to break.
It's a tough news because their families.
Depending on,
Yes, they depend on you every single day. They're like, Madam Jackie is coming next month. Madam Jackie is coming next month. That hope, I cannot kill that hope of a farmer. Secondly, is that the young people have been taken for granted, that we cannot run companies. Everyone looks around, and I even see them in some of the boardrooms when I stand up to talk, and they're like, okay. And I'm like, I have to do this. I have to prove to them that young people, we can run businesses. We are not here to joke. We are not here just to be hired, but we can run our own companies, and we need to also be considered and given a seat at the table to make decisions for the future. Because the decisions that were made 50 years ago, we are living because of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whether they were good or bad, we are paying for those decisions. So I want to be able to make a decision for the future.
Lovely.
And I want to create a better future, not only for a girl child, but also for a young person. The third one is that I love good life. And I have learned that in life, it's not good to depend on people. You can depend on people, but you as a person, you need to create your future. You need to wake up in the morning knowing that I make the money and I spend my money. Because we have been brought up as young people, and especially the girl child, to think that once you finish school, you will get married to a handsome man, Apollo, and then Apollo will take care of rent. I've paid my rent out. And when a girl gets married, then Apollo starts saying, I'm the man of the house. And so when you say, I want that MAC lipstick, which is 400 or maybe 40,000, Apollo will say, can't you buy that one that I see of 20? So I love good things, and I love to bring good things to myself. I need to control what I do and how I do it. So, and there's nothing else that can give you independence in Africa than money.
Lovely. It is also very true that money answereth many things. Some say that money is not good, but everyone wants to find out themselves.
Even God wants the tithe.
Oh yes, absolutely. I must say it's been a pleasure having you here, Jackie. Any parting shot?
Yeah, well, as we are ending the year, I know it must have been tough for every entrepreneur,
Absolutely.
but in case it makes a difference, I would like to tell you that even us that you see smiling, maybe moving around, it has been tough for us. But what is so important is that you have made it. To the girl child outside there, to the young person outside there, follow your dreams. If you're in school, stay in school. If you are at a job, stop complaining, do better, and you will be a better person. But most importantly, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2020. 2023. Thank you so much for watching Family TV, and thank you Family TV and our camera person here and the people in the control room for working this late. I salute you all. My name is Jacklene Arinda, Chief Executive Officer, JADA Coffee.
Oh, lovely. And I would like to just amplify what she already said. If you're watching this, 100% is your survival rate for everything that life has thrown at you in 2022. And just like she said, like the hope of the folks at JADA Coffee, when she's traveled, they know she's going to come back. So are you, and the many young people who are probably looking up to you. Everything you do, they're following after you, learning from you. Please do not give up. And as we wind up with 2022, we wish you a very, very successful closure of the year. And hopefully 2023 will bring glad tidings with it. And I would like to say with that, thank you so much for keeping us company from when we started out. And we hope to catch you next week. Is the same station and the same time, 9 to 10 p.m. This show, Ask the CEO, is powered by Young and Flourishing. My name is Apollo Sabiiti, and thank you so much. Have a good night.